walk around like this.
Henry?
Quick! Go!
Whoa! Whoa!
What am I to do now? What are you sneaking around? Huh? God be with you. Keep the peace.
That's a fine maypole.
And the one.
I'm here then. You said in the alehouse that you could do with a helping hand at the forge, didn't you?
I could. My last two hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. What's your name? Henry?
That's right.
You said something in the tavern about being a blacksmith's son, didn't you?
Aye, that's me. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Sure thing. I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge. Go over to the anvil and let's get started. Are you gonna get started then? Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up. It's like poking it around for a bit. Now get the furnace nice and hot. There's a lever above you. Give it a pull. It works the bellows. But you won't be able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time to time and take a look. Try it out. See? That's exactly the straw color we want. You've got talent, lad. Now heat up the whole thing. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it. Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. See the sparks? That's the sign of a good strike. The more sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has two sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side. Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway. It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now, get back to the forge and heat it all up again, like before. Come over to the anvil. That, besides the sparks, you can tell a good strike by the sound of it. Sparks are flying nicely. The ring you want. See how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a piece to a beat, the work goes by easier. Sometimes I'll whistle to myself to keep the rhythm going. Some nice whistling. It's easier to forge the sparks. You've got it finished. All that's left is to temper it. And the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking. Right. Let's have a look. Very nice work. Your father taught you the trade well.
He'd certainly be happy to hear that.
If you carry on hammering as well as you did today, you've definitely got a job here. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, you can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
What good does it do me to whistle while I work?
It makes you work to a rhythm. You won't get tired so quickly, and the iron feels it.
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed. And there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
What can I do with the items I've forged?
Well, you can sell them. Though you probably won't have much luck around here. But I'll happily buy some of the nicer things from you.
Where exactly is my bed?
At the side of the house. There are 2 doors and a wheelbarrow between them. You go in by the rear door, next to the woodshed, and you can put your things in the chest there. Don't worry, nobody'll steal them.
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right, here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs. Forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you some more interesting work. It's about those two idiot hands of mine, Venser and Franzi. They drove off with a cart full of goods towards Semine, and they never came back.
Do you want me to find them?
Just so. But more importantly, I want to know where my cart ended up, and especially the cargo. Go to Semine and find out what the bloody hell happened.
Those two hands of yours, Venser and Franzi, what can you tell me about them?
Can't tell you much. They're wandering laborers. I don't think they wanted to stay here with me for long, but these days I can use all the help I can get.
Were they suspicious in any way?
No, they worked hard. They ain't no slackers. And I can't say that about everyone.
What was the cart carrying?
Bugger and bollocks. All sorts of stuff. I'd say Lord Semine wants to rearm his garrison with new equipment. There were some hunting swords, bastard swords, crossbow bolts. I also fixed the trigger on young Semine's crossbow. And some kitchen stuff. Sacks of charcoal, all sorts of things. There's a good month's work in that cartload.
All right, I'll get right on it then.
Go ahead. And if you find that pair of fools drunk, kick their asses for me.
Gladly. I'll kick some sobriety into them.
Quick! Quick! Ka!
Down the old oak.
Hail, pilgrim!
Ka! Quick! Ka! Ka! Go!
Don't cause any...
I'm looking for the Takeoff Blacksmith's cart. Have you seen it?
Loads of carts come past here. There's going to be a wedding, and they need supplies. Try asking Captain Gnarly. He keeps an eye on supplies. He'll probably be in the courtyard.
Thanks.
And watch yourself when you go into the courtyard.
Why?
We've got some wedding guests from Moravia. They're in pretty high spirits. It's still a while till the wedding, but them gents is already getting into the swing of things.
So I says to him, "No, father, I haven't been fornicating. I've just been loving my neighbour."
Hey! You alright there, laddie?
Oh, you should have seen him. He went as red as a cardinal's hat. Aye. Hey, servant, bring some wine.
Me? I'm not a servant.
Oh, I know. Old Serene is saving supplies for the wedding later. But you didn't need to bother your wee head about that.
Look, I'm not from here.
Oh. I didn't give a fuck what you're frae. You speak our language, do you not?
Well, Yurko, seems to me this fella doesn't know how to behave toward his betters.
The old man's hired hands are lacking in manners. We'll soon fix that. Now you're gonna die! Bad luck!
The man's your fucking hot head is gone!
Fuck you!
Go on, send him huffing.
Yeah, you done grubber! I'll beat you to a bloody pulp! Bad luck!
Rub his beak in the dirt.
Ha! Whack!
How terrible.
Ha! I'll beat you to a bloody pulp, fucker! Ha! Come on. Oh, you wee
What
bastard!
in the devil's name is fucking going on here?
What do you think's going on, Grandad? I'm teaching your people here how we do things.
Grandad?
Why, Grandad? An old captain like you probably still remember the flood.
True enough, Yurko. I am old. And I remember all sorts of things. Like you. When you were a little nipper running around here bare arse, with a ribbon in your hair, screaming out how you was Princess Sophie. Poor lad, hadn't a moment's peace from his big sisters.
What about that wine?
Who in God's name are you?
Henry. The Takeoff Blacksmith sent me. Radovan.
Blacksmith, eh? Then you'll have some explaining to do. Come along and never mind that fool Yurko. Young Samin's getting married, so we has to put up with his kin from Moravia.
We'll be needing a dozen geese. And I must tell Vashek to get 3 pigs ready for slaughter. And the carters will have to be sent to Yetchin to get at least a peck of poppy seed for cakes. And gingerbread spices. Oh, and wine, too. It's almost all gone, what we bought only last week.
Enter!
Sorry to intrude, sir. This is Henry, Blacksmith Radovan's hand.
Oh, excellent. Dorothy, leave us now. Just make sure that there's plenty of everything so long as it doesn't cost too much.
But, sir...
Not another word! Leave us! So Radovan sent you alone. Who's going to unload it all? It's a whole cartload.
Yeah, Radovan sent me, sir, but not with the goods. The thing is, he's missing his cart, along with the carter in his hands.
What? But they never came here. Are you telling me they got lost?
Well, I couldn't tell you what happened to them, sir, but it's my job to find them.
There are all sorts of vermin roaming the countryside.
Oh, no
so...
need to imagine the worst right off, Gnarly. Anyway, I need the load from that cart, so saddle up your old nag and we'll ride out, Captain. I could do with a breath of fresh air. I've had it up to the eyeballs with counting geese and pies.
What about Henry here, sir?
Well, what about him?
We could use an extra pair of hands. You know how my shoulder's acting up. Yurko is shit-faced, and your son...
The older has work to do. All right, take Henry with you if you want. Just so long as he doesn't slow us down.
Thank you, sir. So, lad, you going with us? I hope you're happy about it.
Yeah. I'll be glad to help you.
Oh, you reckon we can't manage on our own?
No. That's not how I meant it.
Take it easy, son. I'm only yanking your pizzle. By the way, the fellas at the gate say you came here on foot.
Yeah, I did.
Christ above! And how are you going to ride with us? On the back of my saddle? You're a bit big for that, ain't ya? And I'm a bit too old.
You got a stud farm here, don't you? Couldn't I borrow one of your horses?
Aye. And then we'd never see hide nor hair of you, nor the animal again. We don't lend horses. But you're in luck. Our groom brought in a grey nag not long ago. Tell him you've got to ride out with us, and he'll give it to you for a decent price.
All right. Thanks.
Well, that should be that. Unless you've got any more questions.
Actually, there is something I'd like to ask about. This Yurko and his mates, who are they?
They're Lord Samin's kin. They're fine as long as they don't get too much booze inside them.
Only they're from Moravia, so they're never far from the booze.
But what can I tell you, lad? Each to himself. Besides, they stick with the family when push comes to shove. And you can't say that about everyone.
And you, sir? What is it you do?
Well, son, I wonder if I haven't made a mistake about you. If you haven't figured me out by now, you can't be very bright.
No, I just meant, what exactly is it you do for Lord Semin? And your name isn't exactly very common.
I'm the captain here, and I'm sure I don't have to tell you what a captain does. As for my name, it's a nickname Lord Samin's grandpa gave me. May he rest in peace. When I joined his service as a young fella, I took my gnarly club with me. Wouldn't use anything else. I was used to it. And more than once helped me to, well, win an argument. I broke many a hard skull with it. And it's still in one piece. We've been together so long, we even share the same name.
You're lucky you didn't turn out to be Captain Knob.
Or Captain Headcracker. You're right.
I'd like to go and see that wedding.
Wouldn't we all, lad? And what would you do there?
Well, I heard Lord von Berghoff will be at the wedding, and I need to speak with him.
Son, I don't know if you're serious or yanking my pizzle. Anyways, you're Radovan's hand, ain't ya? He'll be coming to the wedding. He's making a wedding gift for the groom. Stick with him, and maybe he'll take you with him.
We should probably get going.
That we should. But it's getting pretty late. We need daylight for a search like that. Come back in the morning and we'll set out. If you want, stay here. You'll get a bit of grub in the kitchen and you can sleep in the barn.
Greetings to you.
Any trouble, got it?
Cheers. I hope you have an uneventful shift.
Hey!
Good day to you.
You better watch out for me.
Got it?
What you gonna do, son?
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
I'll get going then.
What's up, youngster? We're going.
Wait, that's my Pebbles, my girl. I thought they killed you down by that pond.
Keep close to the others. How can I help you, stranger?
That grey horse you have grazing here is mine.
What do you mean, yours? I bought it fair and square. I admit, it was only for a few groschen from some suspicious lad who found it down by the Rock Tower Pond, but that horse is not branded, so it belongs to me now.
She's my horse. I rode in on her from Ratai, in the retinue that was attacked down by the pond.
Right. You happen to need a new horse, and this one just happens to be the one you already own. Does it have your brand? It does not. So you are out of luck.
Who sold her to you?
I told you already. Some young lad. He wasn't from here.
What did he look like? Where'd he go?
You're a bit hasty, eh? He had black hair and a big beard. And he looked like he'd been sleeping in the woods. And his breath smelled like hell. But I couldn't tell you where he was headed.
Look, you know they attacked an entourage by that pond, right?
I heard about it. That news spread through the land like wildfire.
And the one who sold it to you told you he found it by the pond, right?
Well, he did, aye.
So it's not entirely impossible she belonged to me.
Maybe not impossible, but I paid for her.
Aye, but just a few groschen. You said so yourself. Wouldn't you rather be in the good graces of someone who might have been part of that expedition?
Maybe so. All right, I'll give her to you. But you owe me one. Go and get her then. If she remembers you, she might even come when you whistle for her. Safe.
I'm ready to set out, sir.
All right. Stay close to us and don't go wandering off.
As you say, sir.
Where will we start searching, sir?
If they drove out of Tarkov and headed towards us, they had to pass through Troskovitz.
Right, sir. You keep up with us, son. Troskovitz ain't far, but it seems there's fellas vanishing on the way.
Very good, Captain.
What do you think about it, Captain?
I know you told me not to jump to any conclusions, sir, but I can't help myself. Someone's running rampant around here, sir.
I know who's running rampant. Yurko in the cellar. We're out of wine again. I knew this wedding wouldn't be cheap, but I'm bleeding like a stuck pig. And the bailiff, the bride's father, you'd get more blood out of a stone than coin out of him. And then he behaves like I shit golden eggs just because I'm a noble. Even though he's got more coin than me.
Such are the times, sir. But that Yurko, he's going too far.
You know how those Moravians are. It's in his blood.
Aye, I noticed. But they're getting too much to handle. Him and his cronies. They started on young Henry, as soon as he set foot on the courtyard.
What? Is that true, Henry? Cat got your tongue? I can understand that. So how did this little brawl of yours end up?
Young Henry here gave Yurko a nice hammering.
Oh, that's no surprise. The fella can hardly stand upright most of the time.
You'd have to get up early to catch them sober. But they wasn't that drunk as to give Henry an easy fight.
Look here, lad. If you're such a champion, I'm sure you'd accept the challenge of an old man like myself. Nothing to say. I'll take that for a yes, then. There's an abandoned pen along the path a bit. We'll stop off there and see what you're made of.
All right, sir. If you'll excuse me, I'll explain some things to the youngster here first. Wouldn't want no accidents happening.
So, we're here. Gnarly, tell the youngster here what's what.
All right, son. You're going to fight Lord Sameen. It'll be an honorable fight, so you better act accordingly. Hold on, Mo. I'll give you some gear for it.
What weapon will you give me?
What would you like?
Sword?
Don't get ahead of yourself, laddie. A sword belongs in noble hands. You can have my cudgel. It might be just a stick, but it's my stick, so careful with it.
Thank you, Captain.
Save the thanks, and get your arse into the pen.
So, young'un, are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
Jesus, I'm hit! That's a lot of blood. This should stop it.
Get over here, you warrior. What do you say, son?
Whew. You really gave me the runaround.
I'm no spring chicken, but I'm as spry as ever.
God's truth, sir. You didn't disgrace yourself, but I can see the young un has spirit. Anyways, you can keep that old junk, Henry. Even my cudgel. But take care of the old fella. He might be just a piece of wood, but he's saved my arse more than once.
I will, Captain.
And since you won, I've got something else for you as well. My shield.
Isn't that a bit too much, Gnarly?
Sir, my left shoulder's fucked anyway. I can't carry no shield.
True enough.
Thank you.
I needed that. It's good to stretch the limbs every now and again. And you're pretty handy, youngster. You should come to the courtyard, and Gnarly here will give you a good education in the art of the sword.
I call it the art of not getting skewered as soon as you step foot outside the village. But do come in. We've got a nice arena in Sameen. It ain't no abandoned pig pen.
You can't always choose your battleground, Gnarly. Whether it's a pig pen or an arena in Talstein, it's the performance that counts. And while we're on the subject, where are you from, lad? It's clear you're not from trusted.
How did you recognize that I'm not from around here?
Well, that's easy, youngster. From your smell.
Is that possible?
Oh, aye. I can smell the scent of foreign parts from you. In case you haven't noticed, Trusky's not exactly Paris, France. I've lived here my whole life, and I know every tree, rock, and house for miles around. And you, I don't know. So you must be new here.
Well, you're right.
What a cheap old Christ!
Rain again.
Christ! Whoa! Right where you're going! It's pissing down again.
Relax. I'm not doing anything wrong.
So, we're in Troskowitz. What now, sir? Should I go to the bailiff and ask if he might have seen someone?
Well, that makes sense. But the young fella here should do it. If the bailiff sees you, he'll guess I'm in the village and come and bother me. And I'm really not in the mood today for any bombardment of complaints.
I understand, sir. All right, Henry. Run along to the rat house and inquire about that wagon.
And Henry, not a word about me. Are we clear?
As you wish, sir. Master Bailiff, can I ask you about something?
Ask away, by all means. Wait now, aren't you that lad who's helping Radovan in the forge?
Yeah, that's me.
I heard his hired hands went missing.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm here.
Ah, I was thinking they were driving awful fast with that cart.
You saw them?
I did, a few days back. They raced through the village in the early evening so fast, they were dropping sacks of charcoal.
Where were they headed?
Towards the east, to Apollonia on the road to Yichin. And you're looking for them?
I am indeed.
I'm glad to hear it. I heard there were goods for Semine on that cart, and I can do without that kind of trouble now, on account of the wedding, you know?
Do you know anything about Radovan's hired hands?
Only what I've told you. But to tell you the truth, I wouldn't mind if they never turned up again.
Why's that?
Well, they might look like butter wouldn't melt in their mouths, and Radovan praises them, but I know people. That pair have mischief in their eyes. I can tell.
It seems you have a lot of concerns with that wedding, Master Bailiff.
Of course I do. I'm the father of the bride, after all. Although not everyone sees eye to eye with me. Lord Semine would be happier if I paid all the bills and left all the decisions up to him. Who's invited, what there'll be to eat and drink, entertainment, everything. It's not like I have a burning desire to deal with it, but if I'm going to pay for it...
I understand. But isn't it just that the groom's family is more concerned about these things?
That's not it. I'll tell you what it is. It's because Lord Semine is a noble and I'm just a commoner. Only I've got coin. While he's trying to keep the wolf from the door in that piddling estate of his.
You're right, Master Bailiff. Don't worry, though. People will find out you spared no expense for your daughter's wedding.
Let's hope. More like that old miser will go around saying the opposite and put me to shame.
I don't think Lord Semine would do that. That'll be all. Thanks.
Well then, young man, how did it go?
They were spotted here, sir. Going to the east, towards Apollonia.
So to Yitchin? The bastards! And what about my goods?
Oh, they were driving so fast, it was falling off the cart.
The thieving scum. Let's hurry. To Yitchin!
Sir, I could send a message to the Yitchin captain of the guard.
Oh, it'll take too long. We'll go and get them ourselves.
Won't you be missing preparations for the wedding at home, sir?
I will. If I have to choose between riding to Yitchin and listening to Dorothy's endless fussing, I'll take Yitchin any time. Besides, there's a nice inn along the way, the Three Cats. We can spend the night there.
I remember that place, but I'm not sure, sir, if they'll let the two of us set foot inside the door.
Oh, gnarly, that was 15 summers ago. God knows if the place is even still standing.
True. Still, we'd better keep our eyes peeled. They might not have gone to Yitchin. They could have turned off somewhere. Or something could have happened. It might have been happening.
Will you give over with that? I'll bet my brains they weren't ambushed. More likely we'll find them boozing at the Three Cats.
That'd surely be the best outcome, if that old dive is still standing. Let's go then. So, St. Anthony, which way now?
While you're praying to the patron saint of lost things, go and have a look along the road, Gnarly. And you, Henry, have a look to the left.
All right, sir. But don't forget, my eyesight ain't what it used to be.
Well, that's what we have the youngster for, isn't it? Off you go.
Blessings to you.
Did you see a cart drive through here by any chance?
All the time, friend, from Truskovich to Yitchin and back. Sometimes even a slow cart with a dead body.
I'm looking for a cart loaded with goods from the blacksmith. Probably moving fast.
Now that you mention it, I do recall something of the like. They even dropped a sack of charcoal. When you go out of the cemetery onto the road, you should see it right there on the right-hand side.
See you later, my friend.
Quick!
We're getting close. I can feel it in my bones. You'll have the car back in no time.
I just hope we find the horses too. Yarmilka here ain't the youngest, and I wouldn't want to drag it back home myself.
A nobleman in harness. We ain't ever had such a spectacle in these parts.
You might get to see it soon enough. The lords in this country have all gone to the dogs. Every lowborn with a bit of coin builds a house in Kuttenberg, while we live in squalor. Why do you reckon that is, lad?
That's a tough question, sir. But nothing happens on God's green earth without his will. If that's the way God wants it, there's nothing you can do.
None of this would be happening if we had a king. And I mean a real one, not Wenceslas or Sigismund. Oh, anywhere that's not ruled by a strong hand, all sorts of things go wrong.
Especially when you've got Moravian relatives eating you out of house and home.
Oh, hold up. This is strange. I don't see any cart tracks. What do you reckon, Gnarly?
I'm blind as a mole, sir. But it's all peculiar right enough. Where the hell could that cart have vanished to?
Well, that's just it. They had nowhere to turn off.
I'll look up the road a bit. And you, Henry, have a look back along the road. Maybe it fell in a ditch somewhere. Who knows?
Very well, sir.
The blacksmith's cart. And someone went to a hell of a lot of trouble to hide it from the road.
Hey! I found the blacksmith's cart! Come here!
Well, now, here we have it. The blacksmith's cart.
And someone went to a lot of trouble to hide it from the road.
Of course the goods are gone. The bastards hauled it off to the rocks. That's clear. Well, we can't let them get away with it. We'll carry on, but on foot. My old Yarmilka would only break a leg there. And keep a sharp lookout. Something stinks here.
I told you, they got ambushed by them bastards that's on the rampage around here, sir.
Oh, be quiet. We still can't be sure of anything.
Apollonia. I spent a lot of time running around here as a young lad.
Oh, not me. This place always gave me the shivers.
God's truth, I ain't got only good memories of it. One time, got my legs stuck in a crevice a bit further on. Trapped there all night I was, shitting myself with fear. It wasn't till morning that the folk from the fortress found me. The whole of Sameen was out looking for me.
See, at least you came here as a kid. It still gives me the creeps here.
Why's that, sir? It's just some rocks, ain't it?
You'd sing a different tune if you'd had the rope-maker's wife as a nanny when you were little. Now, she had some tales about this place. Headless horsemen, goblins and white ladies. Every night, we'd gather by the hearth. The old woman would sit at her spinning wheel telling stories. I'll tell you, Captain, there isn't much I'm afraid of. But when that blind old crone was croaking her tales of devils and holes to hell, with the fire crackling and the wind whistling outside the windows and the whirring of the spinning wheel... Oh.
It's true about them devils, though.
Shh. Wait a moment. Do you hear that?
I do. There's somebody there, sure enough.
Let's get closer. What do we do now? I heard more than two voices.
I used to clamber around here as a young lad. The girls from Slatigo used to come make a fire here and jump over it. And so's their underwear wouldn't catch fire. Sometimes they'd take it off.
That's nice, Gnarly, but I don't think it's scantily clad maidens we'll be running into here. So what's that got to do with anything?
Well, there's a nice view into the gorge from up there. We only have to go back a bit, and we can get up there nicely.
Right. Henry, what are you waiting for? This is just the kind of thing we took you along for.
Sure, sir. With a bit of luck, there might be some girls there, too.
I could do without girls with voices like that. Now get going.
Don't know the truth from an hole in the ground. Stumble was a priest. He showed me all these pictures of it and taught me a lot. Stumble was a priest. Pigs can fly. And Ghoul's name is really Sophie. For a wench, he's
Those
got a
definitely
miserable
aren't the
pair of
blacksmith's
tits
hands.
on him. Tell him I'm not having it.
So how's it look, Sonny? How many?
I saw 3. And they don't look like Radovan's hands.
And what about my goods?
I didn't see them. It looked more like a patrol. I reckon there might be more of them hereabouts.
Seems we can't avoid a fight. I hope you're ready, Henry.
Sure am, sir.
I wouldn't worry about Henry, sir. He showed us mettle and training. So, how are we gonna do it? Do you just want to charge them, sir?
What else do you suggest?
We ought to pounce on them while we have the moment of surprise.
The words of a real man. So get ready, and we'll go for them. Nice and quick before the bastards realize what's going on.
It ain't strange. It's my uncle. And he definitely weren't hexed. How would you know?
Now you're going to get it!
I'm bleeding!
Right between the eyes! Hey, Henry, Get over here!
Oh, this day took it out of me, and no mistake.
And it ain't over yet, sir. Your goods ain't here, and none of them bastards look like the blacksmith's hands. Am I right, Henry?
Well, we can't ask them now.
Oh, well. That's how it goes sometimes.
But I don't think it was them.
Me neither. But right past that peak is another good camping spot.
You think this was a patrol?
It makes sense. But I don't want to go assuming the worst. We might have just run into them bandits by chance.
Yeah, well, you were right, as always. Let's go, then. Are you ready, Henry?
Shouldn't we send for reinforcements?
Who would we send for? By the time we return, the bastards will be gone along with my goods.
Don't worry, lad. This scum is no match for us.
I am. Let's go.
I thought we had everything clear, then, sir. You tried to fuck with me, so until we ride out, you're gonna stick right there and keep your mouth shut.
We did everything you asked. We got the blacksmith cart and the goods.
Horse shit. You tried to fuck me. That bastard cousin of yours owned up to it.
It was his idea. I wanted nothing to do with it.
It makes no difference to me, Venser. You vouched for the crooked fucker. So now, it's on you. Actually, you could consider yourself lucky. If you hadn't saved my ass that time in Colleen, I'd have goat ear skin you alive.
Bastards. You can't trust anyone in these parts. Get ready, Gnarly. We are going to parley.
Like that time with the Shani, sir?
Yes, exactly.
Only there was more of us that time, and less of them.
Oh, don't worry, there won't be a problem. They're just common thieves. Besides, I'll take young Henry with me.
What, me?
And if they're still feeling brave, you get to try out that new plaything of yours. Ahem, gentlemen. I'm obliged to you for looking after my goods, but I'll take them back now. Just hand them over, and I'll let you go.
Oh, you must be from Samin, sir. Well, of course you can have everything back. Just as long as you ask nicely, eh? Well, how about we do things differently? You lay down your weapons, and we can all have a nice little chat. I mean, I don't intend to go murdering local lords. I just want your coin.
That's very noble of you, sir.
What are you gaping at? At them!
Nice strike! Should have fucking stayed out of it. There's more of them! You're made of! He's at it!
You can't stand up to this! Come on!
He's done for!
I'll beat you to a bloody pulp! Fuck! Yeah, don't spare.
Good strike! It's a wonder you're still standing.
You'll be fucking sorry.
This one
Christ,
is
I don't
still
have
left.
a day for you.
Smash your face!
Nice strike!
Right on the noggin!
Yeah, don't spare it.
That won't work on me.
You're no match for us, fucker. Nice hit.
They got what they deserved, the fuckers. Henry! Hey, Henry! Are you listening? Come here!
What now?
One of them bastards fled into the rocks. Chase him down and bring him back.
Did you see which way he went?
No, I had other things on my hands. Besides, you're the one who's supposed to keep watch.
But they'd taken him captive. What use would he be to us?
Are you deaf? Didn't you hear what they said? They took him captive because he wanted to drive off with the load. They fucked over Radovan, fucked over his lordship, and wanted to fuck over that bandit too. They were in cahoots. Only the thief wanted to rob the thieves.
Uh-huh.
And they deserve the same punishment, if not more.
And what punishment can he expect? Maybe he'd surrender to me if I could promise him something.
Now listen up, Henry. We don't promise nothing to no scum. Never. He'll most likely get the rope. And if you promise him anything else, you'll be lying. Don't forget, a man's word of honor is what separates a noble from a robber.
I'll go and track him then.
Great. Hurry.
I ain't done nothing, I swear. It was Vincent.
fucking everything!
I've got you now, Venser. You've nowhere to run to. Yield.
Well, why the fuck would I? It's just you against me. Besides, if I do yield, it's the rope for me anyway.
Who knows what they'll do to you? You might just get a whipping.
For robbing Semine, that old miser. He'll have me strung up from the nearest tree. I'd be better off jumping off the cliff.
If I were in your shoes, I think I'd go for the rope. Falling to your death can be real nasty.
How would you know? Have you tried it? Although, to come up with something that stupid, you must have fallen on your head.
Well, come what may. Anything can happen. Maybe you'll get out of it somehow.
Sure, I'll get out of it. Bollocks. And I don't have to be the one who falls off the cliff. So no, I'm not going with you.
One-on-one, yeah. But it must be clear to you that you're no match for me. Even if the noose is waiting for you, it's still a more pleasant death than getting your head smashed in with a rock. And believe me, I'll do it if there's no other way.
You never know what might happen, friend. Much bigger and stronger fellas than you tried to wring my neck before, so I'll take my chances with you.
Can't you think of any other way out of this?
Well, you could let me go.
Why would I?
Maybe for coin.
Carry on.
Well, Jules wasn't entirely wrong. We wanted to fuck him over and take the cart to Yachin.
Only it didn't work out.
As you can see, his fellows caught us on the way. We had to pull the cart over and haul the goods up to the rocks. But before Jules had a chance to count the loot, we skimmed off a bit. Well, that is, my cousin Franzi did. I had enough work hauling them sacks. If you let me go, well, I'll tell you where the loot is.
And what did he take?
I don't really know. But he found something on the cart, nicely wrapped up, so he swiped it. He said it looked valuable.
So you want to bribe me with something, and you don't even know what it is?
Don't worry, it's something valuable. Franzi has a nose for these things.
To hell with that.
Well, come now, don't be a fool.
I said no. You won't yield!
Oh, I told you. No.
All right. I was hoping for a peaceful end to it. But if that's how you want it...
You're a dead man! Bad luck, eh?
I'm sorry.
I had to kill him, unfortunately. He refused to surrender.
Don't feel bad about it, lad. He'd have swung anyway. At least you gave him a quick end.
What about Gules?
He caught a few good hits, but he's alive. We'll take him with us. I need to have a strong word with him. You did a good job, youngster. You've got heart. And so you don't say I had you clambering over these rocks for nothing. Here's something for you.
Thank you, sir.
Don't thank me, you deserved it. And now, let's get that accursed cart back to Samin. Want a ride? We'll go via Troskovitz. We can drop you off there, and you won't have far to Tarkov. You ought to report back to Radovan as soon as possible about what happened with these hands.
A ride would be great. My legs are sore.
Wait until you're my age. Well, let's get going.
I didn't do nothing wrong, I swear. It's all Vence's fault. It was him who said we'll sell the cart to Gules.
Shut up, Francie. You both told me you'll bring me the cart, and then you try to fuck me over.
We didn't. Well, Vincent did. I didn't know what was going to happen. Where are you taking us?
To Samin, where his lordship will hear you out and decide what to do with you.
I hope you realize you can't execute me just like that.
That depends. By rights, I should send a plea to the royal court to ask if we can behead you. But in these shitty times, nobody will give a toss. And parchment's expensive. So as far as I'm concerned, I'd happily take the risk and cut your head off without permission.
I can see how much you respect the rule of law here.
You're quite the joker. Invoking the law, are you?
And what will happen to me?
What do you think? If they'll execute a nobleman, they won't think twice about a hired hand.
You never know, Henry. Lord Samin is merciful. Maybe this whimpering will soften his heart.
I ain't whimpering. I'm just trying to tell you how it was. I swear on my soul.
Is that supposed to soften my heart? Ha! Every good-for-nothing I've dragged to the gallows swore on his ma. Nobody with any decency would risk his mother's immortal soul, even if he was pure as the driven snow. But this arsehole don't think twice about damning her. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
The captain's right. Only the lowest of the low swears on his mother.
Ain't it grand you're here to make that clear for us? And now shut it. The two of you. I don't want you poisoning the air with the shit you spout. Right, we're in Troskovitz. This is where you get off, Henry.
Thanks a lot, Captain.
Don't forget to go and tell Radovan what happened, so he can stop worrying.
Will do.
And drop by Samin sometime. You may be wet behind the ears still, but you're a laugh to have around.
Wet behind the ears? You're a bit young for that kind of talk, Captain.
Ah, if only.
What are you doing creeping about in the dark, eh?
Jesus Christ.
So, job done. The cart was found and driven to Lord Semin's courtyard.
Whew. That's a relief. And what happened to that pair of idiots?
It turned out they tried to rob you.
Oh. They did they?
Aye. They plotted with some robber baron called Gules and brought the cart to him.
The bastards. I should have realised they were a bit too keen on work. And how did you get the cart back?
Well, I went to Semin, and they were wondering there too where the wagon got to. So we rode out to look for it. Me, Lord Semin, and his captain, Gnarly.
Well, God's nails. And the three of you tracked them down? The whole band?
That's right. They were hiding in Apollonia, along with the cart and the goods.
Indeed. Where else? The bastards. And what about my hands?
Venser didn't survive the skirmish in Gules' camp. And Franzi, they took him to Semin. He might have been innocent in the whole thing.
I wouldn't be too sure about that. They were only here a while, but that pair was as thick as, well, thieves. And that Franzi could talk his way out from under the executioner's axe.
We'll see. Either way, it's Lord Semin's concern now.
Anyway, the main thing is the cart turned up. I'd be in a right mess if it didn't.
No doubt.
And you've earned a reward for your trouble. I've got just the thing for you. Some mercenary once had his cuirass repaired here, but never came back for it. Who knows what happened to him? So now it's yours. It's been through a bit, but it'll still serve for a while.
Thanks. It'll come in handy. And have you got another job for me?
Young Lord Semin's wedding is coming up, and it's got my head spinning. Look, you must have seen Agnes, the bailiff's daughter, when you were in Truscovitz. What do you think of her?
Well, young Semin is marrying her, isn't he? Why would I have my eye on her?
Don't pretend. A statue of a saint would have his eye on her. Looks ain't everything, though. She's got such a sharp tongue on her. I almost feel sorry for young Semin. And how about you, lad? Have you got some lass waiting in Sasau?
Yeah. And I hope she'll wait. Her name's Teresa. Her uncle owns a mill on the river in Ratai.
A girl from the mill? You want to watch out for them types. You might get caught up in devilry, lad. A wedding's a serious business. You're not just getting a bride, but a whole family. So you have to show them you're a man who's worth it. All the more so when you're noble-born. Old Semin wants a special sword forged for his son's wedding present.
Excellent. So what are we waiting for? Should we get to work?
Hold your horses. It can't be any old steel. This has to be a first-class job.
A blade of first-class steel?
That's right. And that's just the problem.
Ah, I see. We don't have any welded steel for that kind of sword, do we?
God's nails. You really know your stuff, youngster. And you're right. We don't have the steel for a strong sword that won't break.
I'd like to know where you're going to get your hands on some welded steel.
Relax, lad. I've got it all figured out, as it happens. There's this old hermit called Ambrose, living in Apollonia.
And he can pray for us?
God's nails, let me finish talking. The word is, he was fighting heathens years ago in faraway Andalusia, and folks say they saw this interesting broken sword in his...
Ah, I see. We don't have any welded steel for that kind of sword, do we?
God's nails, you really know your stuff, youngster. And you're right. We don't have the steel for a strong sword that won't break.
I'd like to know where you're going to get your hands on some welded steel.
Relax, lad. I've got it all figured out, as it happens. There's this old hermit called Ambrose, living in Apollonia.
And he can pray for us?
God's nails, let me finish talking. The word is, he was fighting heathens years ago in faraway Andalusia, and folks say they saw this interesting broken sword in his hut. From the description, it seems our peculiar hermit has a real Toledo blade.
Welded Spanish steel? There's nothing better for a sword.
See now? You do understand. But there's a catch.
Naturally.
They say that Ambrose the Hermit has changed a lot recently. People from far and wide used to go to him for remedies and blessings. But now he won't see no one. I even heard he made a pact with the devil. And there have been other strange goings-on.
What strange goings-on?
I heard something in the tavern about some apparition. But that's all I know.
Where can I find the hermit?
Do I look like someone who goes to a hermit for advice? I know he has a hut somewhere in Apollonia. But you'll have to ask the Truscovitz womenfolk if you want to know more.
With the devil? Why would the hermit make a pact with the devil?
No idea. It might just be old wives' tales.
Right. I'll try to find out more about the hermit's sword. But in return, you'll get me invited to Semin's wedding.
If it means so much to you, why not? Come and see Betty from the Truscovitz Tavern. She knows all the gossip. She'll definitely tell you more about the hermit. But Henry, if there's any truth in that pact with the devil, don't get caught up in it. The best sword in the world isn't worth eternal damnation.
I'd like to learn something.
What do you want to know?
Well, I'm experienced in blacksmithing, but I won't say no to a new trick.
Great. Let's get to it. Learning this trick will take some time.
more reason to leave it be. Aye, but the weather had been stormy for a few days, so one of the branches snapped and fell off.
The Lord be with you. What do you need?
Some advice.
You want some advice? Here's some for free. I catch you fighting here again, and I'll spank your bare ass like a brat. Down to business. I don't have all day for you, so what do you want?
I promised Radovan the blacksmith I'd go and see Ambrose the hermit in Apollonia.
My God, lad, stay away from them rocks. Ambrose the hermit sold his soul to the devil and won't talk to nobody no more.
Yeah, I heard that as well. But it seems a bit far-fetched.
So why would an evil spirit suddenly start appearing near Apollonia? It's the devil's work, believe you me.
And has anyone sent to the castle for the priest?
Not at all. Bailiff Thrush is keeping it quiet so far. 4 strangers came here yesterday. They sat in the corner there, but once they heard about the apparition, they started to take a big interest.
What strangers?
They looked like monks, only they had daggers concealed under their robes. I saw them clearly. I'm telling you, there's something fishy going on around Ambrose.
But I have to speak to him.
Didn't you hear what I said? He doesn't speak to nobody. He hides away in his hut and sends everyone away. I'd think long and hard before doing anything if I was you. Because this reeks of hell.
I'd like to ask you about that hermit in
Go on then.
How do I get to the hermit?
You're asking for trouble, lad. But all right, if you insist, you go through Apollonia along the path below the rocks till you reach the point where it crosses the stream. And from there, you take the path uphill to the left, leading into the rocks.
Where did these peculiar monks come from?
Hard to say, but they rode in on well-fed horses.
Monks on horseback? That's definitely odd.
Well, Bashka the Butcher says they came from the bishop about that diabolical apparition. In short, the Inquisition.
Who's this hermit fella, anyway?
No one knows. He settled in the rocks a few years back. Folk used to go to him for various healing ointments or advice.
And what has he got to do with this apparition?
Well, he was at death's door recently, bedridden, and then suddenly he's got his health back. Just like that. And he's like a different man since then. He sends everyone who goes to see him packing. Mark my words. He sold his soul to the devil to get better. And the devil sometimes comes here on the prowl for unwary souls.
What do you know about this apparition?
Stanislav, the herds boy. He comes running into the village that night, all terrified, saying he'd seen a rider from hell in Apollonia. And the very next night, it appeared in the rocks below the road to Tahov. There's this conciliatory stone cross there. And the next day, it was at a funny angle. There's some devilry in it for sure.
Where can I find the herds boy?
Stanislav has a sheep pen in the meadow beyond the Troskovitz graveyard, right above the big crossroads outside Apollonia.
And it was the herds boy who saw it by the cross, or someone else?
The apothecary's wife, Gerda. Ask her yourself. She's not been herself ever since, poor woman.
Christ!
And what's that got to do with me?
Farewell. And what happened? You don't scare anybody.
Farewell. And wash up a bit so you don't scare anyone, eh?
A tankard of ale, thanks.
Good evening.
I'd like to
That capon of yours is a puffed-up fool, more to the point. But that was some punch, I'll give him that. And you fought like a lion and all. We outnumbered you, but we still had our work cut out.
But you were better. If they hadn't dragged us apart, we wouldn't have stood a chance.
Aye, but you wouldn't avoid the stocks even so. People in the village don't like strangers, and my father is no different. In any case, as far as the two of us are concerned, it's all water under the bridge, right?
Right.
You can see I'm not some idiot, can't you? I just don't like haughty fuckers. And you aren't one, are you?
I hope not.
I'm sure you aren't. You're a good lad. I can tell. And a good brawler as well. If you ever want a proper workout and some fisticuffs, Lawrence the Geliov innkeeper is your man. God be with you.
Pretty much dead broke.
I hope it's not
What a day that was.
I wouldn't wish that on Magnus.
Excuse me.
I hear Ambrose the Hermit has some old sword.
A few folks saw it at his place some years ago, but then it disappeared. Maybe he sold it. Or chucked it out.
I heard a shepherd saw an apparition in the rocks.
It's not wise to go there. There's a diabolical horse.
What happened at the
Hard to say. It was turned around. But what Gerda from the apothecary saw there, you'll have to ask her.
I hear something happened to the hermit.
Forget about him. He's...
I'm surprised you're still standing. You must have drunk an entire cask.
Greetings.
I'd like to ask you about something.
No, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Go away, please.
Easy now, Gerda. There's nothing to be afraid of. We'll get to the bottom of this mystery together.
Really? You're not going to laugh at me like all the others?
I believe you really did see something. But I want to know what it really was.
So, what do you want me to tell you?
What's this place where you saw the apparition?
It's a conciliatory cross, erected in the memory of some innocent's death. They say some years ago, a young fella killed himself on account of an unhappy love affair. He jumped from a cliff.
And the day after you saw the apparition, the cross was at an angle.
Aye, all askew. Everyone here saw it. I didn't go back. I can't.
Relax, Gerda. Have a think, and then tell me what happened with the apparition.
It was the day before yesterday. I was picking marshmallow roots above the rocks. It grows by the cross there, near the big dry tree not far from the road to Tachov. I didn't get home till after dark when I suddenly realized I didn't have my knife.
So you went back to the cross?
God have mercy. He hopped up right out of the ground in front of me. He was all in black and he was grinding his teeth. I started to scream. There was something glinting in the dark and this clanking sound and I just turned and scarpered.
That's all?
At one point I turned round and I saw a dark shadow darting across the field. Proper flying along it was, like the devil, and heading straight to Apollonia.
Don't worry, Gerda. Nobody's gonna make fun of you anymore. I'll find out what it was all about and what you really saw there.
What do you think happened?
If the devil's at large here, someone summoned him and should be punished for it. But you needn't fear. Everything will get cleared up soon.
Thank you. By all the saints, thank you. But please, come and tell me how it turned out. I'll make it worth your while.
Careful.
You.
God! Quick! Go! Quick! God! Quick!
Whoa!
Fresh soil. Someone was digging here recently. It doesn't look like an apparition, Gerda. He didn't take either the coin or the books. So it wasn't a thief. It must be something else he was after.
Idea. I even doubt when with all the perfumes I could find.
Good to see you.
Greetings. Quick! Gah! A beautiful horse. Black as charcoal. The herds boy wasn't lying. And you don't smell of brimstone. You're just an ordinary horse. Someone really did come to see the hermit. But it wasn't the devil. Judging by what I've heard about you, you're a bit fishy, Hermit.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a lot of talk about you in the village.
They say you've made a pact with the devil, and are summoning demons from hell.
Old wives' tales. What do I care about such nonsense?
Well, but supposing it isn't nonsense.
Of course it is.
The apparition was seen by the conciliatory cross at night.
Old wives' tales.
I went to take a look, and it really is askew. But it wasn't magic that Hellspawn was wielding. It was a shovel. There was a hiding place beneath the cross. And the man digging there at night didn't have time to put the cross back in the right position.
By all the saints! So someone was digging there. What has that to do with me?
There was a brand new cloak of the Knights of the Cross in the hiding place. It's clear that the man doing the digging hid it there, maybe to cover up who he really is, and what he's planning.
I still don't know what you want from me. What have I got to do with some cloak?
The man who took things from the hiding place can't have been some chance thief, because he left a purse full of coin there.
So keep the groschen, lad, and stop pestering me. It's nothing to do with me.
I found some pretty interesting documents of the Order.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I reckon you do, Ambrose. According to one of the documents, you were appointed Seneschal of the Knights of the Cross with the Red Star. Or are you going to tell me it was some other Ambrose?
I'm not going to tell you anything. I don't know anything about any documents.
A few nights ago, a herdsboy saw a black horseman ride into Apollonia. He thought it was an apparition, but I think a demon would have known the road to Apollonia and wouldn't have spun round and round at the crossroads like a top.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I found a black horse stabled in a pen here. In the woods below the rocks. A well-fed, healthy horse, black as charcoal. The man who rode on it wasn't an apparition. Or the devil.
Why are you telling me all this? For God's sake! Stop this nonsense right now.
That's enough. I think there are enough fishy things going on around you for me to tell the bailiff. But you're in luck. All I'm after is that broken sword. So, come clean.
You're wide of the mark. But in the end, maybe you could help me.
What do you want help with, Ambrose?
I'm not Ambrose. He died some time ago. I am Conrad, Knight of the Cross with the Red Star.
What are you doing in the Hermit's hut, then?
In Prague, I got into a serious dispute. Ambrose was the only person who could help me. That's why I came to see him.
I'm guessing that the diabolical horseman scaring people round these parts was you.
That was not my intention, believe me.
Ambrose is dead, you say? How did it happen?
He was an old man. Unfortunately, he was already at death's door when I found him.
And you had nothing to do with his death?
Of course not. Ambrose was my friend. I'd known him for 20 years. He was a good member of the Order, and an outstanding teacher.
Ambrose was a member of your order?
More than a member. He was the Seneschal, second in rank only to the Grand Master. He served the Order for many years before getting into a dispute with the Prague chapter and the Inquisition. Then he had to disappear. I was the only one to know where to look for him. But I came too late. All he managed to tell me was his last wish.
You scared the life out of Gerda from Troskovitz that night. What were you doing there?
Ambrose had a hiding place beneath the cross where he kept things from his past.
I found some documents there from the Knights of the Cross. But Ambrose clearly wasn't interested in them. So what did he send you to get?
He sensed that death was coming for him. He wanted me to help settle his affairs. And he also longed to hold his old sword in his hands one last time. I went to his hiding place that very night. But by the time I got back, Ambrose was dead. I put the blade on his grave, in place of a cross.
So the sword is on Ambrose's grave. Will you tell me where I can find it?
You want to disturb his rest?
I just want the sword, that's all. It's no use to him now.
All right. I'll tell you where his grave is, if you fulfill Ambrose's last wish instead of me. I can't do it.
All right. What am I supposed to do?
Listen carefully, then. There's an old widow called Margaret living in the village. Take this cross to her, and say to her exactly these words. Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what is rightfully his.
Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what is rightfully his.
That's right.
I hope she'll know what this is about.
Don't worry, she will. Give her the cross, and I'll tell you where you can find the sword. Benedictio Domini sit tecum. You're back again?
Look what I have for you. God! Go!
Whoa!
That we may be made worthy of the promises. Good afternoon.
This might seem strange, but I'm supposed to give you this.
A cross? Mother of God, what is the meaning of this?
Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what he deserves.
Ambrose? The hermit?
It was his wish that I give you the cross and the message. He said you'd know what it's about.
Oh my God! By all that's holy, it couldn't possibly be him. All those years, I'd lost hope. I never forgave myself. I committed a mortal sin.
Well, I don't know what you did. But this is supposed to be your absolution.
No, there's no absolution. Not yet. You said it yourself. Not until Ambrose's brother gets what he deserves. The bones, they still lie there outside the wall. Help me. His soul must find peace.
All right. I'll help you. But you'll have to tell me more.
Thank you, lad. Thank you. I'll tell you everything. It's a curse. I've never told anyone about it. And it's a good thing you caught me here. At the graveyard.
What does the graveyard have to do with absolution?
Hold on. Not so fast. I'll tell you everything. First, tell me... Are you afraid of the dead?
It's the living I'm more afraid of than the dead.
One should fear the dead. But in the end, it's probably a good thing that you have no fear. You see, one poor soul is waiting for redemption. For years and years.
Ah, I get it now. Ambrose's brother has to get what he deserves. This is about the soul of Ambrose's brother.
His name was Jan. He lies outside the graveyard wall, buried without rites. He's been there for 30 years.
Why doesn't he have a proper grave?
Because suicides can't enter the kingdom of heaven. They have to be buried outside the walls, like the unclean. The worst thing about it is that Jan didn't kill himself. He didn't deserve such a dishonourable burial, and it's my fault. I said nothing.
What happened to him?
The memories are painful. We were childhood friends, and Jan loved me. Only, I chose his friend Vashek over him. He couldn't get over the rejection. So he lay in wait for Vashek one evening.
And Vashek killed him.
It was an accident. They quarrelled. Jan drew his sword first, and Vashek had to defend himself. Apparently, they got close to the cliff edge while they were fighting, and Jan fell. When they found his body at the bottom of the cliff, people thought he'd killed himself. The only one who didn't believe it was Jan's brother.
Ah, the conciliatory cross where they saw the apparition. That's to commemorate Jan.
His brother Ambrose had it built there. And those diabolical apparitions. It's my fault for saying nothing. God is punishing me for my sins.
Nonsense. God wouldn't use a diabolical apparition to scare you, would he? And what's more, Ambrose forgave you, didn't he?
Only on the condition that Jan's bones will be laid to rest in consecrated ground. Help me lay him to rest in a proper grave, please.
But without telling the priest and gravedigger. Isn't that sacrilege?
That's the only way we can put right a terrible mistake. Jan didn't kill himself.
All right. We'll give him a proper burial. Jan's soul has the right to eternal rest.
Thank you. The Lord will pay you back 100-fold. There's a rose bush outside the graveyard wall. You'll find his bones beneath it. Please bury him beside my Vashek. Here, beneath the pine tree. In that way they'll be reconciled, at least in death. Then place Ambrose's cross on his grave to bless their reconciliation. Take care, my friend. And she conceived of the Holy Spirit. Hail Mary. And Mary said, Behold, I am the happy.
Whoa! Your journey ends here, Jan. I don't know what you have on your conscience. But rest in peace. I don't know much about prayer in these situations, but... Our Father, there are many sinners in this world, but in the end, we all face your judgment for what we should have done, but lacked the courage to do. So forgive me this little sacrilege. You know better than anyone that it was the right thing to do. Thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven, and deliver us from evil. Amen. Ambrose's brother Jan got what he deserved. Just as the hermit wanted.
I saw that. May his soul find peace at last.
And yours too, Margaret.
30 years. I thought about it every day.
It's all right now. You did the right thing. Everything else is beyond the law of man.
I'd like to reward you somehow.
I expect you wouldn't want anyone to hear about all this, right?
Well, if you... Will you keep it to yourself?
All right. I'll accept the coin, and that'll be the end of it.
Thank you again for your help. God be with you, Henry. Take care, my friend.
quick!
Ja!
Go!
Ja!
Hey, fella! Listen, we need help!
Jesus.
Who are you? And who do you serve?
We are Knights of the Cross with the Red Star. Good brothers in Christ. I'll explain everything, but there's no time now. We have to act fast. Our brother Glesgan is dying. The crazy fool shot him. Help us.
All right, we'll have a quiet talk. What happened?
If you're going to see the hermit, be warned. The man in the hut is just pretending to be the hermit. His name is Conrad, and he's a fraud and a murderer. The Inquisition paid him to murder our Grandmaster Zdeněk in Prague. Fortunately, God did not let him carry out the crime. But 2 of our brothers were killed by Conrad when they tried to detain him.
And I see a third one will soon join them.
He was just about to flee from here as well. We took him by surprise, but he had time to grab that damned crossbow and shoot Klesgin. By the Virgin Mary, help us. We have to catch him.
Did Conrad really want to flee?
Yes. We stopped him at the last moment. He almost got away, but we surrounded him.
You're a knight of an order?
Yes. I am Brother Arnold, a Knight of the Cross with the Red Star. And these are Brothers Sibald and Nicholas. You are too late to make the acquaintance of Brother Klesgin, I'm afraid. We take care of the sick in infirmaries throughout the land. But we can't help our brother. You have to help us, while there's still time.
Why should I get mixed up in it?
I'll pay you. We just need to distract Conrad's attention, that's all. Otherwise, we won't have a chance against his crossbow in that gorge.
This is your business. I'm not gonna get mixed up in it.
Mary, Mother of God. You must be in league with him. Of course. Why else would you be here? Damn it! I should have known!
No, I'm not in league with him. And if I don't have any choice, I'll help you.
God, thank you. Try to get close unseen, and set fire to the haystack on the right-hand side of the yard. Then his crossbow will be useless. But do it quickly, before he gets away.
Ora pro nobis, peccatoribus. Procedere es nostrum.
Hey, stop right there. Halt, or I'll shoot. You. Why? Fuck, another one. Now you got another round.
Your asshole. Fuck you! Slice him up!
I'm wounded! I'm hit!
This will end well.
I'll kill you, you bastard!
We're gonna gut you, you whore son!
What about our deal?
Ave Maria Gratia Plana.
You owe me something, knight.
You're right. Conrad was one of the best swordsmen of the Order. We wouldn't have stood a chance without you. Here's your silver.
You can't be here.
What did Conrad want here?
The local hermit Ambrose was his long-standing ally. He was seneschal of our order some years ago, but he transgressed and fled from Prague. But why Conrad was pretending to be his dead friend, I have no idea. Maybe he thought it would help him evade justice.
I have some documents of the Order that might be of interest to you. If we can agree on a price.
My God. The Order's Chronicle. We thought it was lost for good. Where did you find that?
In a hiding place. But that's not important.
It's a good thing you told me about it. What do you want for it?
Get going! Right now!
We'll return the books to the...
Clear off! You can't just stroll in here.
What was it actually about?
I shouldn't tell you. But since you helped us, Conrad was paid by the Inquisition to kill our Grand Master, Zdeněk of Prague. He failed by the grace of God. But while fleeing from the commandery, the treacherous villain killed 2 of our brothers.
Well, are you...
Conrad was working for the Inquisition?
Yes. When Archbishop Olbram suddenly died a year ago, the Inquisition began to plot against our order and the king and to support the papal curia.
That is high politics indeed.
Sinners. They only care about money and power, the lot of them. We knights seek salvation in helping the poor and suffering. We are not murderers.
Our accounts are settled. Everything that happened here, I'll keep to myself.
Are you going? Away.
Farewell, Arnold.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritus Sancto. Amen.
What are you doing with that weapon? Clear off! Hey lad, better be on your way.
Hey, stop right there. Halt, or I'll shoot.
Wait, Conrad! It's me, Henry!
Don't move a muscle, I mean it.
I don't know what's going on here. I just want to talk with you in peace.
I understand, but there's no time for talk now.
They sent me after you, but I'm not your enemy.
I don't believe you. I don't believe anyone anymore. I don't want to kill you. Go away.
I can help you. Let's talk.
All right. But make it quick. And no sudden movements. Agnosco fortunam Cartaginus. What do you want?
You wanted to run off and break our agreement.
And what is it you want to hear from me?
Where can I find Ambrose's broken sword?
It's not far. At the edge of the meadow up there are 2 entangled birch trees. There's a grave beneath them, and the sword is on the grave.
Why do they want to kill you?
Why? They want to silence me. I had proof of our Grandmaster's Denyek's treachery. But they are blind. They refuse to believe me.
What about the murders? Did you really kill 2 brothers of the Order?
I had to defend myself. I'd be dead if I hadn't killed them.
That's all I need to know.
There's no time to go into it. Sorry, young man. You got mixed up in a game of high stakes, and there's no way back.
In that case, we'll play that game out.
Thank you, friend. Benedictio Domini sit tecum.
Nothing is how you think, Colonel. They deceived you!
You're a dead man!
Fuck you, horse son!
You're no match for us, fucker!
Kill him!
Dick!
I'm gonna shoot you! Nice mate! I'll take that when I'm done with you! I'll beat you to a bloody pulp, fucker!
Hell!
Come on, man! Yeah! Don't spare him!
Dick!
Slice him up! Good! I still can't quite do that!
Stop fooling around.
Why are you showing that off? Pathetic! You're beginning to make me nervous.
You're a kind master, eh? Much? Put that away!
Damn it! What was that all about?
I think I owe you an explanation.
Yeah, you're right. Let's hear it then.
And what is it you want to hear from me?
Why were they trying to kill you?
I had proof that our Grand Master's Denyek had betrayed the Order and was conspiring with the Prague chapter. But it was turned against me. Damned Inquisition. First they chased out Ambrose, and now me.
That's all I need to know.
And that's an end to it. This is in return for your silence.
Thank you. I won't say a word. Don't worry.
Farewell, friend. Go with God. Benedictio Domini sit tecum.
Where's the hermit's grave? It ought to be somewhere around here. There's nothing more here. Sorry, Ambrose. Rest in peace. Now that's what I call steel. It may be broken, but there's hardly a trace of rust.
Finally! Pleasure doing. What do you here?
So I'm back, Master Blacksmith.
Excellent. How did it go with the hermit?
He's dead.
What? Did you?
No, not me. It just got a bit complicated. Anyway, it turns out old Ambrose really used to be a knight. And this really is Toledo steel. You were right, Blacksmith.
God's nails. That's quite something.
First class welded steel. Ambrose must have broken the sword himself, deliberately. It wouldn't have just happened in battle.
That's exactly what we need. See now, youngster. My clever plan worked out nicely in the end.
Right. Well, thank you very much for your, clever plan.
You haven't disappointed me yet, lad. So I'm sure forging an exceptional sword won't be a problem for you either.
Wait, I thought you wanted to do it yourself. I'm just your assistant, after all.
Not at all. I trust you. One day you'll become a master. That is, unless you lose your head first.
Better than having your baby shit in the font, trust me. I speak from experience.
What's that stink?
I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God be with you. You have a kind master, eh, Mutt?
I've got something for you, Blacksmith.
God's nails, you weren't bullshitting.
I'd say it looks pretty much like a sword, eh?
Looks like. This is a damned fine piece of steel. Damned fine.
Thanks. I was glad to help, but now there's something I need from you.
I'll pay you, of course. And if you want to do some smithing, I won't throw you out of my forge either.
No, you know full well what I need. I have to get to Samin's wedding.
Why is it so important for you? It'll just be a lot of people stuffing their faces. You can find that anywhere.
I have my reasons, and you don't need to know them.
God's nails, lad. You're full of mysteries. But whatever, that's your business. I don't mind taking you to the wedding. Nothing to it. We can set off once you're ready.
What's new around?
I don't know. It's all been quiet here.